Did the Carter County Police fake these deaths, including my daughter Sierra Ramsey's death, so that the Carter County Police could torture me? Because you have had me arrested, you have prosecuted while knowing the truth. You withheld the truth and the evidence. You have known there's a conspiracy since I was in grade school, middle school, and high school. You have police officers in your police department that knew who I was in high school and knew there was a conspiracy against me. You will not intervene. You will not arrest the criminals. You will not tell the truth to what you have done. Hey, Big Head Jeff, I have a few questions for you. When I was introduced to Beth Kimbrough in the year 1989, um, I dated her until 1990 time frame. And one day, Beth Kimbrough, she kind of starts going crazy, and she says, "And why did Beth Kimbrough tell me this?" That's why I want to know, why did she say this to me? She goes, "You're not going to be dipping your head in buckets of ice water over me. I'm not Beth Rainbow." I kept asking her what she meant. And she said, "Jeff Hunt said you're going to be dipping your head in buckets of ice water over me." What does she mean by that, Jeff Hunt? Because to me, that sounds just like something that comes out of, this little interview they have with Joe Rogan about Lackland, Air Force Base, the MK Ultra project. And I'm going to play these little samples for you, Jeff Hunt, but this kind of links you and Shawn Finnerty and Lone Grove into me being hypnotized on Lackland Air Force Base.
Was Beth Rainbow. I mean, I have all the testimony. There was actually a trial, a retrial, and sentencing. And every time it came up, it was really frustrating because he never testified. So it was either his wife or his mother who would talk about it. It was mostly his mother saying, well, all I knew was they wanted him to be involved in this 2-year study to try to relieve his migraines. He would have such horrible migraines, he would put his head in buckets of ice water. It raises huge questions about this was an experiment gone wrong, that he was part of one of these experiments at Lackland Air Force Base.
Now, Jeff Hunt, to be perfectly clear on who I'm speaking about, you are Jeff Hunt. I am Brett Finnerty. This person here is Beth Kimbrough. And you've known what you've done to me all this time, me and April, Shane. All these people have been hurt because you don't want to tell the truth, because now you've got a family. Why won't you tell the truth, Jeff Hunt? Because you were at the Daytona race where Dale Earnhardt Sr. faked his death. He got out of the race car, waved at the crowd, got in the ambulance of his own will, of his own 2 feet, and then drove away, and he was still alive. But then they announced later that he died on impact. You were there February 18th, 2001. And your cousin, Greg Biffle, is a NASCAR driver, so he knows the truth, too. This person is Troy Taylor. Now, Troy Taylor was upper, management type of engineer. He was underneath our manager, Robert Kaminsky. He was my boss, where I made an engineer at Alcatel. See, they had things going on that was kind of shady in the background. They weren't telling me, and they weren't telling other people. What I heard was that Lee Trent was trying to find out who raped her at Alcatel. I believe it was Bill Hopper. I think a lot of people know who it is. They don't want to tell the truth because they'd go to jail because they conspired to make this stuff happen to me. But Troy Taylor, I heard he was walking her around trying to find stuff out. He was asking her questions. What this, and I heard he was the last person. He took her into a restaurant and he raped her in a restaurant. I heard that Troy Taylor from Alcatel is the last person that raped Lee Trent. I just want you to know where he works, who he is. The other thing that I want to mention is when I was laid off, they said it was a telecom bust. There's no such thing as a telecom bust. There's not. But they told me there's a telecom bust. And, everybody's laying off. But see, when I went to Yada Networks, that's how they got me to go to Yada Networks. I go to Yada Networks, and there's Scott. I don't know what his real name is. He goes to Scott Rothrock. He's Scott Odell. I don't know who he really is, but he changed his name multiple times. And he was supposed to be, our upper manager there too. He was our director of engineering, and I don't know where he is now, but this guy's at Nokia, living it up, just thinking it goes away. What he did doesn't go away. Troy Taylor. I'm going to make sure you go to prison, not only for, raping Lee Trent at Alcatel and setting me up, but the attempted murder that you placed upon me. One thing I want to mention about Yada Networks is that Alcatel funded them. Alcatel Networks, you'll say, funded Yada Networks. Now, to be clear on who I'm speaking about, this is Troy Taylor. This is Lee Trent. And if Brett Finnerty would have harmed Lee Trent, no possible way Lee Trent would have spent time with me in Vietnam. She would have tried to have me arrested. Is somebody going to start telling the truth? Are you going to continue to prove that nobody in this city is worth trusting? Everybody's a liar, because that's what you're proving. Everyone in this city knows that anybody who's been prosecuted in the state of Oklahoma, Texas, anywhere where I've been at, where everybody just flat out lies to my face and walks around like a robot, you're proving you can't be trusted in a court of law as a witness or as a police officer or as a judge, because all you do is pretend you lie. Just remember that, guys. Liars go to a lake of fire. Mr. Stone Cold Steve Austin. I have a few questions for you. Do you know who this person is right here? I was told that you let Bruce Mills rape this woman in a police station.
No,
Are you sure?
no, absolutely on.
Okay. I got another question. I don't want to upset you. Do you know who I am? Have you
No,
seen me before?
no, absolutely on.
Okay, well, why is it that you were stomping around like Bruiser Brody when you saw me around March 29th, 2022 at a Walmart in Garland, Texas? You, Mr. Stone Cold Steve Austin, were dressed in a police uniform, and I was just getting groceries, but you just started stomping around as if, someone walked over your grave. I mean, I don't know why you would be upset to see me unless you know something about this woman
No,
being raped by Bruce Mills in the Richardson police station around the year
no,
1998,
no, absolutely on.
99, or 2000.
Here I am in the city where Harvey Burkhart faked all these deaths so he could torture me to death because Carter County Police want to cover up the fact that they raped April Hawley when she was a child. I don't know what age she was, but she was raped by the police force of Carter County, Oklahoma. Jerry Hawley, Jim Conway, Cody Holbrook knows what's going on. A lot of people know what's going on. April knows the people who did it, but nobody to tell the truth. So they made a scapegoat. They run April's life, they run my life, and they are above the law because they learned to keep their secrets, keep their lips sealed, and let rapists and murderers run free.
If you were to ask any of the guilty parties who raped April Hawley, they would say, I don't know anything about what you're talking about. If you were to ask any of the guilty parties who raped Michelle Smith, they would say, I don't know anything about what you are talking about. If you were to ask the guilty parties who raped Kelly Miller, they would say, I don't know anything about what you are talking about. If you were to ask any of the guilty parties who raped Lee Trent or had anything to do with her being raped, they'd say, I don't know anything about what you're talking about. If you were to ask any of the engineers who attempted to rape Han Wong at a post office in Austin, Texas, they'd say, I don't know nothing about what you're talking about. Right, Bill Bartol. If you were to ask any of the people who sacrificed Brett Finnerty, me, through hypnotism, faking deaths, and torture, none of the guilty parties will ever tell the truth because they don't want to go to jail for what they have done.
Are you going to continue to lie and pretend? Or are you going to arrest the criminals responsible for committing many heinous crimes against me, my ex-wife, Han Wong and her family, Lee Tran and her family? Remember that the entire world is watching the police in Oklahoma and Texas lie and pretend while they make a man homeless so that they can use the color of the law to cover up the crimes of the Carter County Police, the guilty police officers in Oklahoma and Texas, engineers from multiple corporations, including Intel Corporation, and the citizens of Carter County, Oklahoma, and other citizens across the nation. Are you going to tell the truth, or are you going to continue to lie to make me homeless while you laugh in my face? Stupid cops.
On the way, Officer Kevin Dave hit and killed a college student with his patrol car. The audio recording under investigation is believed to be the voice of Officer Daniel Otterer, the Seattle Police Officers Guild Vice President. And in it, you can hear him talking to someone else on body cam video after Dave hit and killed the student. And we do have to warn you, what you're about to hear is disturbing.
I think she went up on the hood, hit the windshield, then when he hit the brakes, flew off the car. But she is dead. No, it's a regular person. Yeah, just write a check. Just, yeah, $11,000. She was 26 anyway. She had limited value.
The federal criminal statute that enforces constitutional limits on conduct by law enforcement officers is 18 U.S.C. Section 242. Section 242 provides in relevant part, whoever, under color of any law, willfully subjects any person to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States, shall be guilty of a crime.